All right, okay. The time is now 9:08 and you are tuned into the Morning Spice. And like I said yesterday and like I was saying all day this morning, not can I do the introduction before you sip some tea, please?
You can hear me? Oh.
Yes! Your mic is on.
I was like, who's that drinking tea?
That's not me. Okay, let's start again. So like I told you folks, this person needs their introduction, but all of the flowers. Please send all your positive energies and your good vibrations and all the good thoughts to Rian 8Track Williams, who is here in the studio with us this morning. And so I don't know if, well, I doubt anyone would know this besides a couple of you. Right. But the reason why I played Family Ties is because I felt like it was such a fitting song for who we are to one another.
Very much.
And so for the listeners who are listening in, this is my first cousin.
Real cousin.
Not in the way that, people be like, oh, that's my cousin, you see him going to acid and stuff.
You're Williams and I'm a Williams.
Yeah, we're actually related. And also on top of that, it's also a closeness that we have. And so I put on my Instagram, and you can check that out, alex.symone. I put it on there that this is one of my most important interviews because I feel like right now it has come full circle. And the reason why I feel that way is because you and I have gone through so much together, from us being little bits to us being older little bits, you know what I mean, to this point. And, of course I did my research, and in an article that you stated for the RG in 2013.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Just cause your family didn't mean that I wasn't gonna come with the heat. Well, you thought you was gonna come at her easy. It's just gonna be like, how about you there? I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay.
No, I'm definitely not giving you.
You better be ready. But I read in this article in 2013 in the Royal Gazette that one of your goals, outside of being a positive influence for young Bermudians, was to bring a Grammy home to the island. You said that 10 years ago.
Wow.
10 years ago.
And I didn't even remember even saying that.
Mm-hmm. You ended the article with saying that my ultimate goal is to bring a Grammy back home to the island, to bring a Grammy back home to Bermuda. 10 years later, I'm sitting across from you, and you are a Grammy-nominated producer.
Yeah, and it's funny because, so I'm going to tell you how I felt. Okay, where do you want me to start?
No, go. We're vibing.
So, I'm going to tell you how I felt about, actually, I'm going to go back a little farther. Okay, so last year, and even me and you had talks, right? But all last year, I was just manifesting a Grammy nomination. Not even a Grammy. I was just like, this year I'm going to be Grammy nominated. And I didn't even know what I was even going to be Grammy nominated for. So, as time went on, I was just getting, I was producing like for some artists. And then Protege was telling me that he's dropping the song Heels. And he told me that early last year. And I was like, okay, cool. And then he sent me the video, and I was like, okay.
Budget.
Here's a helicopter.
Look, okay.
I'm like, what?
Money. Yeah.
So he sent me this video, and I was just like, I'm just waiting for this to come out.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Protege, he wouldn't learn each other since 2014.
Wow, right after that article.
Yeah, and what happened in 2014, what also happened was that I actually got sick. And I got really sick, and I was like, it took me like 3 years to recover. And
I wanted to sort of dive into that a little bit because I feel because I've read a lot of your articles, and a lot of the times that you sit down with people, it's very clear that the point that you're trying to get across is positivity and light.
Right.
Like you are very, very much focused on making sure that people understand that even though music, especially the music industry, that it's a hard one to get into, but with discipline and actually a positive attitude, it can happen. But very rarely do you share about the lows, and there are some lows.
Extremely.
Yeah, there are some lows, and I just sort of want to go into You said 3 years. What was that battle like? Of like knowing your body's going through some things while also trying to keep your mind focused.
Yeah, so I got sick in 2014, and it was crazy because that was the first year I was really seeing success being in Atlanta. I was
This is when you got signed to Street
Exact,
yes,
which is 2 Chainz' management.
2 Chainz.
So yeah, that year, I was recognized for being one of the up and coming producers in Atlanta. So it was me, like Metro Boomin,
I remember that.
Sunny Digital. It was a bunch of us, and then we got invited to be on a stage at the A3C in Atlanta, and I was one of the featured producers.
What's A3C?
A3C, it's equivalent to South by Southwest.
Okay.
So, but
cool.
it's based in Atlanta, and everybody comes there. I'm talking about all the big artists. You could see Lil Wayne just walking on the street. You could see anybody big. So I was on the up and coming producer panel with all these other like producers that are doing the thing, and so that happened. I also met Nipsey Hussle that year. And it's crazy because 2 years before that, I was trying to meet Nipsey. Like, I went to a show, tapped him as he was walking out, and he just like, he just turned around, slapped me 5 and kept on moving. And I was like, I'm probably never gonna meet this guy ever again.
You're right.
but as my name continued to grow in Atlanta, I met him at a DJ Drama private party, and I saw Nipsey. And I went up to him, and I was like, yo, like on 8Track. And before I said anything else, he's like, yeah, I know who you are. And I was like,
wait a minute. Hold on. So you mean to tell me that you were putting in so much work that the Nipsey Hussle, when you said hi, how you doing,
I
Mr.
just said my name.
Nipsey? And he was just like, bet, I got you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
whoa.
Yeah, that was, and he said it. We was in a hallway. And it was like everybody just passing through and all that, and he was like, "Yo, you got any beats on you now?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, let's go to the studio." And when we went to the studio, he was just like kicking everybody up. He's like, "What do you do? What do you do?" And everybody who didn't have a purpose
was out.
And this one guy tried to get rid of me, and Nipsey's like, "No, he's with me." And I was like, "Wow, this is crazy."
Wow.
And yeah, but So all that was happening that year, and then I came back from Bermuda for the first time in 2 years, and I ate something, and I got completely sick.
Where you eat it from?
I don't want to say.
Why?
I don't want to put that on blast.
Why not?
I'd say I got some food.
What type of food was it?
You know what's funny?
Ah!
You know what's funny? Now, what I ate wasn't that dramatic, but I got like sweet potato fries, right?
Okay.
It's funny. I saw your mama that night.
Really?
Yes, where I got the food from, and I ate the food, just some sweet potato fries. Mind you, it was really greasy, and I think they refried it.
Ooh.
They didn't want me to.
No.
They didn't want me to.
That see, and look, the devil, it comes in many forms, you know, and yours was in the form of greasy sweet potato fries. Look at that demise. Maybe that's why he didn't want to tell the story. You know what I mean?
So some fries to take you down. You know what I'm saying?
I was meeting Nipsey Hussle, and he knew who I was. And then I came home, I had some sweet potato. You will crumble! Sweet potato fries, you will crumble! I can see.
Oh, man. So
the demise.
But it's actually, I think that the fries that I ate, I got sick, but I think they was like the final straw to my last 2 years of being in Atlanta, just not sleeping much. I used to have 4 o'clock in the morning studio sessions. I would finish at 4 o'clock, go home, eat some IHOP, go sleep for 2-3 hours, wake back up, head back to the city.
So what were you clocking? Like, what were the hours that you were clocking before, like even before 2014, before you said, okay, I'm feeling the momentum. Like even before that, how many hours were you clocking? I would say.
To be honest, on a regular, probably like 18 to 19 hours a day. Like lacking a lot of sleep.
And you know okay. So one of the things that I always think about when we think about people who are experts in their field or people who do what they do professionally.
Yeah.
You were working 18 hours a day, right? Before that, while you were preparing, while you were learning, how many hours do you feel like you clocked before you felt like I can charge people for this? That I am a legit producer, I have done the work, and I am now at a position where I can charge.
To be honest, that happened after
Wow.
2014.
Really?
Yeah.
Up
after.
until that point, you were working for free?
Yeah, completely. Yeah, completely. Because my thing was, even like my first placement was with 50 Cent, and
Yeah.
that was completely free. Because I was like, look, I need to get my name there.
Yeah.
So, and
Whoa.
yeah, so I was literally working hard with. Okay, so that's how it worked. When I was in Atlanta, when I was working with like the bigger artists, the independent artists saw that. So I was getting money from independent artists.
Wow.
So if I would have been like, look, you know,
And is that standard? Like, is that standard in the industry? That
apparently,
usually...
yeah, that's the game.
Really?
Yeah, it's manipulation as well.
Yeah.
It's to make people think that, okay, well, if it's working with this artist,
Yeah.
he must be getting paid.
Yes.
So whatever price he tells me, I'm gonna pay it. So if he says $2,000 for a beat, then I'm gonna pay it.
Yeah, because you've worked with 50 Cent, you're working with Nipsey, you're
Right.
working with...
All these like.
Yeah.
So that's how it was happening. So I was getting more. My money was coming like from the independent artists, but nah, I wasn't really making no real money like that in the beginning, thing like that.
Scamming.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's funny, I had yeah, this happened in 2014 too. I had my first record label placement with this song with Jeremiah and these guys called Slowbox. And what happened, they went to perform on the Summer Jam stage, and then they got into beef with 50 Cent on the stage.
Nice. Fumble in the bag. Thanks.
And RCA saw that.
Of course.
50 Cent's got power.
Yeah.
And
All right.
and then they just dropped them.
Yeah.
And I was getting like a $10,000 check for like just one beat. So you could imagine how producers get like a lot of money in the industry, because that was just an entry, $10,000 a beat. You know, so if you start to get your name there, so imagine doing 10 placements in a year, that's $100,000 plus royalties and producer, like it's a lot.
But even before you get there, you're clocking a lot of hours for free.
Extremely.
Especially like a lot of hours.
Right. So what happened when I got sick from the fries? It was actually bigger than that because it was like just the improper eating, lack of sleep, just catching up
the
to
grind.
me.
Yeah.
Because when I came back from 2014, I think we had 2 hurricanes, and when the second hurricane came in 2014, I got sick around that time, and I didn't leave Bermuda till like probably that following 2015 in January, and I went from 205 pounds to like probably like 160 in a few months.
I remember seeing your ears looked extra big. They were, you know.
Only you could say that. But then I went to Atlanta, and then I dropped even more weight, and I got down to probably like 120.
Yeah.
Nobody didn't see me. And then what happened, I started to take acupuncture, and while I was taking acupuncture, I was like, I need to listen to some calming music. So I was listening to Chronics and things like that. Then I came across Protege's music, and I was like, I was wondering who he was. So one day after my acupuncture, I went online and I Googled to just see like how can I get in contact with him. His mama was his manager, and her contact information was on Facebook. So I called her, told her who I was. She felt like excited because we're both Islanders. And she was like, well, look, I'm going to give you my son's email address, send some stuff, and it's up to him. I sent Protege some stuff. He didn't hit me back till like a few months later. He's like, yo, I like what you're sending, keep sending more. And then the next email that I got from him was like, yo, are you on WhatsApp? I'm like, okay, cool. So he sent me his number. We had a conversation, and he was just like, yo, the song that you hear, it can change like the song of reggae that I want to put out there and all that. So I was like, wow, all right, cool. And the funny thing is, I've never produced reggae before. I'm a hip hop head, right? So I was like, I'll sample some reggae and make it like, and flip it to like a hip hop beat. And like, if you like it, then, you know, but I don't know how to do all the other stuff. That's not my style. So anyway, from 2015 up until last year, you're right, Protege kept on saying, yo, we're gonna get something, trust me. And for like 7-8 years, I just kept on sending them beats. I didn't ask him nothing.
7 to 8 years.
Yeah, just send them beats, just like, yo, bro,
Wow.
just sent you something, that's it. And he wasn't recording nothing, just
send it.
Just send it for like
Waiting
7-8
to
years.
her.
He even
Wow.
he even invited me out to Jamaica, paid for my ticket and everything.
I know that's right.
In 2019.
Come on, hot girl.
And even on that trip, we still didn't really get much done. But it was when I came back, and I was like, all right, I made this one beat, which was the Heels beat. I sent it to him. I hadn't heard from him. Time went past, like months. I was like, still didn't hear from him. I was like, yeah, he ain't probably feel it. And then out of nowhere, he was like, yeah, we got one. And I was like, really? And then as time went on, then he was like, yeah, this is gonna be my next single. And I'm like, so because I'm had, and trust me, in the industry, you go through that a lot where people say they're dropping something and then it doesn't drop and all that. So I was like, okay, well, you know, I'll wait till it comes out. And then and then he dropped it and then last year, what happened? I was because I was looking at when the album came out. So I produced the single off his album, but when the album came out, I thought it was too late for the Grammys. So then,
because it was released in April, like
the
end of March. No,
the single was, but the album was released like in November.
It was pretty
October,
recent.
November.
Yeah.
So when I found out, he called me and he was like, "Yo, congratulations!" And I'm like, "For what?" And he was like, "You know, like Grammy nominated." And I was like, "This is wild."
So he told you.
Yeah.
Via WhatsApp.
Yeah. No, he called me via WhatsApp. But I was just like, no way. And then, you know, I put it out there, and then honestly, this whole process of just being Grammy nominated made me feel like I actually won it, just based on the outpour of love from like everybody in Bermuda. Like, I'm had people from all ages just stop me, congratulate me, and I'm like, wow, like people are really paying attention to this. And that alone made me feel like it's a win. So as time progressed, I'm like, all right, I'm gotta get this win. Because I was grateful for the nomination, but now you're telling me that I'm just one step to like winning.
You can taste it.
And I was thinking about everything. I was thinking about like all the other influential Bermudians that have been the first to do something. And I'm like, I'm gotta be a part of this history.
You want to cement your legacy.
Right. So then last week, I had the worst anxiety. My chest was literally hurting. Like, I actually felt like I was gonna go to the doctor because my chest was hurting, my breathing was off, and I didn't realize that it was actually anxiety. I thought I was cool. I was thinking like, man, I need to go for a run or something.
Yeah.
I don't run, but anyway, I was like,
a workout. Yeah. Burn this energy off.
Right.
Like, just burn through it.
And do something to stabilize my breathing as well.
And also, if you're someone that's not used to dealing with anxiety or severe anxiety, which it sounds like you were given through, especially during a time where it's just like, I am so close to tasting this thing that literally has been 10 years of toiling and waiting and hoping and not getting paid for this and sleeping less for this, and here I am, and now all of a sudden your mind's like, fight or flight, you
literally,
know? Yeah.
And then it was the thoughts of, all right. And then I had people, the funny thing is, nobody said that. Everybody was just congratulating me on the nomination. Nobody was like, yeah, you gotta win, Nobody said that. Everybody was just happy with just me being nominated, because they're like, this is big. And I'm like, I appreciate that. I'm grateful. But I'm just one step now to get this award. So in my head, I'm planning everything. I'm like, if I get this award, I'm gonna get a shit done. I'm gonna have something outside of City Hall. I'm gonna keep the Grammy at City Hall. Like, just I started planning all these things. So that ended up creating all this anxiety. And then as time got closer, I just removed myself from just a lot of social things. And I was like, all right, let me just cool out. For the whole week, I'm just listening to just relaxing music. Cause it's crazy, cause I'm like, this is life changing. And then Sunday comes, and I'm looking at it, cause the premiere of the Grammys was on YouTube. So I'm on my phone, and I'm like, and then the category comes up, it's a Bash Reggae album, and I'm like, all right, here we go. And I'm looking, and then it's a Kabaka premiere, and I was like, ooh. And I literally...
Wait, let's have a moment in this moment right now. So, 10 years, and just that fast, someone else. You see it, you read it, that's the fact.
Yeah.
I
was literally hurt.
Yeah.
But not in a bad sport kind of way, only hurt from the plans I had that I felt like I wasn't supposed to hear. So I felt like that I should have been grateful enough just for the nomination, and I shouldn't have planned to actually win.
Really?
That's how I felt. So I felt that when I didn't win, I felt like, why did I do that? Why did I plan to actually win?
Wow.
You know?
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and I mean, I know that our conversations when you got nominated, I know I was happy and I was excited for you.
It was because of you. I started to put the Grammy picture on my phone, on my laptop, because you was just like, yo, put it everywhere.
Yeah. So, because for me, in my process, it was just like, you got to this point, you're nominated, right? And like you said, you're right there, you can get it. And the idea that you wouldn't plan to win for it after planning to get here, because like I said when we started the interview, you stated that in 2013. 10 years later, here it is, and there isn't ever a time that one is able to actually touch and really know what it feels like to actually put a major girl out there, to put it out there, and for you not to prepare for it, I feel like it would be a disservice, to me, right? Because I already told you have to get a Grammy because me and Beyonce have to have a conversation. But number two, for the fact that your intentions, right? Because you weren't saying, oh yeah, I got the best table for my house where I was going to put this Grammy and I got a clear. No, you really were trying to make this something that could be held for Bermudians and for us to be able to go there and say, look at us, one of us got a Grammy.
Literally that, because I feel like the bigger fight in Bermuda is the respect for the arts. You know, the arts in itself is not
cultivated,
supported, or valued enough as sports.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And nothing against sports, right? Because everybody's working hard to accomplish what they want, and nobody can help the opportunities that are in front of them.
Yes.
If you have the opportunity to do something, then go for it.
Take it.
But when it comes to the arts, it's always like a private entity has to be supporting it. It's not really a huge support from the whole of Bermuda, right? So my thing was like, my fight is for the respect for the art, you know, for all of us that in visual arts, music, everything like that. So my thing is, if I get this win, now this gives me leverage, because now you can see that we can accomplish this to the highest. So now what? And it was done without the assistance of you guys. So imagine if you did give us assistance, what we can accomplish now as a whole, right?
So because you were talking about like the work of the arts, and I know there's some up and coming Bermudian producers. I'm thinking about Who's Your Producer. I'm thinking about R2G2. I'm thinking about New Wave Sound, and especially Who's Your Producer has been coming out with some pretty awesome stuff. And when you first stated, you was like, well, reggae really isn't my style. Like, I'm a hip hop head. I'm old school OG, right? My question is, now with these new producers coming out and you being very clear about the fact that, especially if you are creative, the hill is high and steep and long. Do you feel that the small subset of our creative spaces, especially musicians and producers, do you feel like we are starting to cultivate our own unique sound as
Yeah.
Bermudians, what that looks like, especially on the bigger market in the music industry?
Yeah, because the cool thing is about Bermudians is that we pay attention to everything, but what got all kinds of influences around us. What got the East Coast influence, which is like New York. Then we got the British influence, but then we got the island influence, like as well. So I think that we're putting it all together. You know what I'm saying? And I see that a lot to where it's like, honestly, I'm a fan of everybody, and everybody that has came up to me, I'm sure nothing but love. You know, I even undermine myself at times just to like let them know, like, yo, like I rate you. You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain things that I can't do that they do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just good at what I do, and I just push hard. I just made the ultimate sacrifice to leave Bermuda. Cause when I left Bermuda, I had like $200, and I'm like, yo, like I'm gonna try to make this work, and I ain't coming back until I accomplish something. You know what I'm saying? So when I left in 2012, yeah, I didn't come back till like 2014, and I was like, I'm gonna make this work, and that's my mindset with anything, because, you know, with anybody who is serious about doing something, then don't worry about proving it to anybody else. Prove it to yourself. People will take you serious when they see that you're serious. You know what I'm saying? So just don't do something because it looks good, or you could probably get a little bit of popularity off of it, or because it's popping. It's got to be, if it's really in you, then go all out, and just know that that journey is going to produce endurance. It's going to it's going to bring you self value, self reassurance, and things like that there. And then you're going to be amongst your peers as well. Bermuda was only able to do so much, but I knew that when I left, I'm going to put myself with the real, well, not the real, but where it's
More opportunity,
and where the competition is bigger.
Where it's fiercer.
So so now you're putting me in the studio with London on the track.
All right, and I have to show up.
You know, so I remember this one time me and London was so at one point it was like a knack to knack with me and London on the track for a short period of time, because we was working with the same artists. So when a project would come out, it would be like, okay, who produced more tracks on it, me or him?
Wow.
Or him or 8Track, like, you know what I'm saying? So
wow.
Yeah, and then when London got signed to Cash Money, he was like, yo, let's continue to keep on working. But I knew that Cash Money like had big business.
Thank you.
So I was like, I'm gonna stay away.
Yeah, good luck.
But I should have still kept on, you know, working with London, like, and you know, so, but it's all good.
It happens that way. But
right.
So you were talking about knowing, like in your heart, right? Because you said you wanted to go away to be around people like your peers, but also competition, because competition is one of the bases of actually expanding one's craft, right? It pushes you to be better than you. I know for myself, when I went away, you know, to York University, I'm in the theater program, and then you're realizing you're always fighting for your spot. Like, to stay in school, you have to fight to stay in there.
It's a million of you out there.
It's a million of you guys.
Yeah.
And that's the other part, I feel like, especially when we talk about the OGs or the older generations, that they try to sort of crowd that away because they're afraid of what that looks like, right? And it's just like, no, you actually have to place yourself in the heat and see how you actually rise.
Yeah.
But when did you know in your life, when did you first fall in love with music? When did you realize, little Ryan, I'm talking to you now, right? When did little Ryan realize that, you know, I want to make music, this is what I want to do?
At the age of 14, the funny thing is, I wasn't even that good at music in school. One of my music teachers wanted me to play the flute. I'm like, I ain't playing no flute.
It would have been wicked though.
Well,
you could have been a blizzard right now.
And when you heard like Future song Mask Off, you heard the flute in the background, I was like, that stuff really good.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I was like, I ain't playing no flute. Like,
right.
I'm a young teenager, right? So I'm like, nah, like this is feminine.
Full of harmony.
Give me some drums.
So ready to go.
You know what I'm saying? Give me a saxophone.
Not a saxophone.
But you know what I'm saying? But a flute.
Slow down, Kenny G. Slid on. He said I was gonna be out there serenading and getting rich.
Request me for Valentine's Day shows.
Coming out with a cute little red on red. With the kangaroo hat cocked to the side. What you know about it? Yes. Rian 8Track was about to be Rian Horns. Yes.
Oh man. But nah, but I would say when I was like 14, 15, I started to learn how to make music.
Okay.
And I started off on a keyboard, and then I started to make money, and then I just invested, and then probably like at the age of like 15, between 15 and 16, I started to like make music, and from there, once I saw that it was possible to make music, my next thing was, okay, now how can I take this abroad? How can I get it? And this is during the time where the internet wasn't popping. So
Now you're showing your age.
I know. The internet literally came out like a year later after I started to make beats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so then crazy.
Old.
I go 40. I just put it out there, I go 40. Anyway, now
You got all your teeth
continue.
done. You got all your teeth.
I got a whistle tooth talking out the other day. But anyway.
Oh, man.
But no, so anyway, so like, yeah, I would say
You were before Napster and LimeWire and all of that.
No, this is like
And
yeah,
then
man, was it?
you're using CDs and
and floppy disks
to get the beats and stuff that you need.
So, but I would say around that time, and then once the internet like started to evolve, like years later, I was like, okay, let me just start learning how to send music to artists and things like that. And then I just started to take trips by myself to Atlanta to network, and I used to do like I would research where a studio was, printed the directions off of MapQuest, go to Atlanta, and then like just drive around to all these places, So that's like what it was like for me, because I started to see how it was possible. And a few times I bumped into artists in Atlanta. I bumped into Neo like twice at the airport, on separate occasions. And he was like, look, I'm gonna take your CD. Here's the information. Okay, if I like it, you're gonna hear from me. If I don't like it, you're not gonna hear from me. Clearly I ain't heard from him.
That ain't a problem.
Twice though.
That's not a problem. That's alright.
But it was cool. It was cool because to me that was, I didn't mind that because I feel like now I'm close.
Yeah.
All I have to do is just give you what you like. And then
that's the other part of the business too.
Right.
Because like for me, like that's another thing too that I feel like when folks look, because you will bring, like when folks look at creatives or look at that pace, the other part of it is like when you get to a certain level, it's not necessarily like I have the free range to just produce. Another part of it is also knowing what my client wants and being able to dig into my arsenal.
And this is why being present is important. So you could email all day, but people ain't got time for that. Like you need to be actually present. So that's why I tell people like, yo, go where it's at. Even if you just take trips, like artists hit me up and they're like, yo, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, yo, travel.
Network.
Okay, cool. Like you got a job, you got income. Then instead of taking shopping trips, take networking trips. Like take trips to
conferences.
Like, there you go. If you're an artist and you want to like get an opportunity to perform, then go to New York and then go to a open mic night.
Yeah.
Get familiar with that. So every time you're in town, people are familiar with you. Oh, I remember you from the open mic night a few months ago. Like you gotta put in the work. Don't think that it could just be completely done. Well, it can, I guess, as well, because I can
knock the social media regime,
But it helps. Social media definitely helps, but being present helps even more.
It's cemented.
Because people wanna interact.
And also the industry is very nepotistic, right? So like it is very much of who you know.
Very much.
Yeah.
And even though the industry is adjusting to the new way of things, it's still some old school ways as well. Where people are like, yo, we still want to see your face. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta get out your comfort zone.
They want to figure energy.
Right. Like just don't be so complacent with like, just being where you're at, and then just, that's it. Because at the end of the day, like for the majority, anybody that's up and coming, you lot ain't really making the real money right now.
I mean, you even just said it. Yours for free. The big name people.
Completely. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, it's like really take yourself out of your comfort zone, you know, and really just push, like really like take steps, like just leave, like just you can always come back in, but just at least leave to go experience, network, meet people, and all that. Like you don't even know who could be at these open mic nights. I'm been places to where I know record label execs actually been there, A&Rs, just scouting talent.
Because that's the job.
Right. You know, so anyway, to take it back to when I found out that I didn't win the Grammy, what's funny is that who won the Grammy? Kabaka. This is his third project. Watch this, sir. This was the only project I didn't produce on. I produced on his last two projects.
No!
His first project.
No!
His first project, Damian Marley.
Oh, man.
Because it's Damian Marley's artist.
Okay.
So Damian Marley, when I produced on Kabaka's first project, Damian Marley heard the song that I done for him, and he was like, yeah, this song's got to be the first song on the project. Cool. The second project came out, I produced on that. Then Kabaka told me last year, he's like, bro, this project I'm working on, it ain't gonna be with one producer. I said, cool, but he's like, I'm gonna get you another one. No problem. So it happens, this project, the only one I don't work on, ends up being Grammy Award winner. And it's funny because I possibly could have been Grammy nominated twice in a year.
Swag. I just want to put that here. Like I could have done it twice, you know, because I did it before. I just want to let you know. Either way, this was gonna happen. Either way, I was gonna get it. Yes. He said, you know, I just want to put that in. That it was in the cards anyway. Yeah. But
I didn't, and not to cut you off.
No.
But I didn't feel like a sore loser. It was only just due to the personal plans that I had. But then, you know, I definitely wish Kabaka congratulations. I even reached out to Protege and I was like, bro, like, thank you for like just believing in me because of you, I got this opportunity. And I just told him, I was like, yo, like, you don't even know what this is even doing for my country.
Yeah.
Like, people are coming up to me, like, just wishing me congratulations and all of that. And you know, I'm just super grateful. So once I got off the feeling of like, just feeling like a little dawn, I went back to my grateful place. And I was like, yeah, like, regardless, like, look how far you came. And Sean Haywood was talking to me the other day, and he was like, yo, no. He said, think about it. Your journey was this far, right? People can't see my hands. But your journey was really far to get to this one place. But now to just get to the next step is a lot shorter. And I was like, you're right.
Yeah. And I also think another part about it is, I wanted to ask you, right? Because I know you and I both have experienced loss, and what that does and how that shapes how you create, how you move through the world, how you've experienced people, and also how you take rejection, how you take failure. And I wanted to ask, just because your dad meant a lot to me, my brother meant a lot to you. And I wanted to know, like, in those moments where you're starting to feel rejection after rejection, or you're seeing this opportunity that didn't work, or you're seeing this opportunity and that didn't work, can you go back to your first type of rejection or letdown? And like, how did you overcome that? Because I know I'm gonna speak from like a personal space, right? Like, when you deal with a certain form of rejection, it actually, like, the first form of it really, really hurts, right? Like the first time you deal with grieving someone that you really loved and cared about, when you're processing all of that, right? That first form of rejection can be gut-wrenching. What was your first rejection that you remember that was foundationally shifting for you? And how did you overcome that?
So I didn't originally get signed to 2 Chainz. What happened? I was in Atlanta and I said, hey, have you guys thought about, signing like producers? They said, of course. They said, well, look, consider me. Cool. came back from Bermuda, and then a song with Trinidad James came out that I produced. This
That's
one,
my boy.
this when he first just came out.
That's my boy.
So I produced a song with him and some other artists, and then what happened? They was like, "Yeah, we're ready." Street is asked 2 Chainz's manager. They was like, "Yeah, we're ready to move forward with you." So I said, "Okay, cool." No, I was like, "I'll be there next week." I had no way of getting it.
Right. That
So-
doesn't matter.
Right. So I literally I prayed about it. I said, God, I need to get out there. And then next thing you know, my mama calls me and she says, Ryan, you know me and your sister, we got your ticket to get to Atlanta. Cool. Get to Atlanta and I go straight down to the office. I ain't got no money. Cause I'm thinking I'm about to, get
Yeah,
signed,
yeah.
and then I'm get like an
Advance, yeah.
and I'm good. And I'm gonna be completely transparent about everything.
Yeah.
So I get down there, and they're like, "Yo, 8Track,
Ooh, awkward.
you came just a little too soon." I was like, "What happened, man?" They was like, "Yeah, so the budget that we had, right? The budget that we had, we kind of went over it." I said, "How?" They said we signed some other producers. I was like, "Hold on, I came to you with the suggestion, then you signed other producers before me?"
Dang.
And I was like, "Okay."
Shiesty.
So then I was like, all right. So I left. Like I said, I ain't got no money. So now I'm gonna think about like literally no money. I'm like, okay, I need gas to get back home because I'm using my aunt's Kendrick Lamar minivan. So you know the minivan
Yes.
it literally looked like that. Maybe that's why they didn't sign me.
You pulled up in that, they were like, is he gonna rob us? What is happening? Said the office.
People like, no, we can't sign you. But so anyway, so I went back to where I was staying with my aunt at the time, and I was just like, man, like what I'm gonna do. And weeks went past, things like that there, and I was like, I need to like get signed because like I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can't go back to Bermuda and just work a regular job. Like I have to keep on pursuing my goals. So then
So quitting wasn't even an option.
no.
You didn't even think like, even though you're in Atlanta in the Scooby-Doo mobile, you ain't got no gas, you can't rub 2 quarters together, you just went somewhere and they said, sorry bro, we ain't got it for you.
Yeah.
And never once did you think, well, I could just return back into Bermuda and get me a job
No.
and work a 9 to 5.
No.
And never enter your
No.
thought.
And some of my friends were upset because they was like, yo, if we would have known that you were struggling like this, we would have helped you.
Of course.
But I have pride, right? And my thing is, I don't want to create a debt of owing back people knowing that I don't know when I'm going to be in a position to even give back. So anyway, like weeks went past, like I think a month or so went past, and I was just like, all right, I think I have a suggestion. Went back down to the office, and I was like, all right, how much you lot was planning on giving me? It wasn't even a lot. It's like $5,000.
Oh.
I said, okay, how about this? I said, how about could you guys afford to give me $1,000 a month? And it's like, we'll get back to you. I laugh again in the minivan.
You know what? You need to make a beat.
Had a
Laugh
few,
again in the minivan.
had a few dollars on me, so I stopped at Chick-fil-A. So then I'm like, so then they
Why
called
you
me.
at Chick-fil-A?
Well, this is before I got sick, clearly.
That is waffle fries. The fries have bigger demise. The fries.
So they hit me up and they was like, all right, we agreed to the $1,000 a month.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, cool. And then so basically that's my story of how I dealt with rejection. I still couldn't take it as a no. I had to think of it like I need to find another way. So when it comes to loss and things like that, just in general, the unfortunate thing is that life still has to move forward, and it's either move forward with it like kicking you down, or you still find a way to like keep it to keep going. No, taking losses and stuff like that, it definitely slows you down because it affects you mentally, things like that. I remember Young Noble from Tupac's Outlaws. I wasn't making that much music at one point, and he's like, bro, you gotta put into the music. And I'm like, man, y'all got money. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the grind right now. I'm not even inspired to make music. What are you talking about? You know, but once I understood it afterwards. Like, well, I understood it from the beginning, but I was like, I'm not even motivated. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but for me, now at a stage to where, you know, I'm just stable in all areas of my life, it's like I could look back and be like, wow, like, it's been a long journey. Like, even at one point in Atlanta, I was driving around the U-Haul truck. That was my trance. I was sitting at a Dunkin' Donuts, and I was just like,
Ryan!
This U-Haul truck can't pass. And it said 1995.
You said, bet.
I said, what? I called you, I was like, yo, you're trying to tell me that I could rent this truck for $19.95?
Yeah, the U-Haul truck for real?
I was pulling up the studio sessions on
No,
U-Haul
you weren't.
truck.
No, you weren't.
Listen.
What? Wait. Hold on.
Look, to the point.
Hold on. What did this U-Haul truck look like? Was it actually the one that like had the thing in the back, or was it one of the cute little vans? Because the vans I get.
I was selective.
Okay.
I got the open back truck.
I know that's right. Not a pickup. He said a Ford F-150.
Not the one with the trailer that you lift up. Like, no, I wasn't doing
Jumping
that.
out the back.
But I was pulling up the studio sessions in a U-Haul truck.
Wow.
To the point. At the end of sessions, or even artists be walking in, they're like, yo, who's got the U-Haul truck outside? And I'll be like, oh, no. Let's get back to this music. Yeah, you asked too many questions.
See, and no, you know what? That's two birds with one stone, because you put a little futon in there. You're ready to go. You don't have to worry about trying to find somewhere to stay.
Oh man!
You got your house with you in the bag.
The grind has been real, and so that's why when I look at being Grammy nominated today, I'm like so grateful of just the journey that I partially said on this, because then it we're on time, but the journey has been amazing. I think that what I have learned about this whole journey is bigger than the music. It's actually about me, what I have developed, like as a man, you know, and just how I have evolved, how I took losses, how, you know, when things got really challenging for me, what did I do to like get myself out of it, you know, learning to use resources, learning to just, you know, see who your real friends are. You know, when you start making money, learn how to manage money now, because you're used to not having much. You know, just everything in totality, and I'm at peace. I'm at peace with who I am today. Moving forward, I'm starting to realize my worth a lot more when it comes to like just who I am, like the impact I have on people. And I don't take nothing for granted. Every day I live my life with gratitude, because I know what it's like to not have, and I know what it's like to actually have, but then it could get taken from me. Because in 2014, I had my highest moment, but then I had the lowest moment. And then through the lowest moment, like you said, when you do a loss, through my lowest moment, I met Protege, and got Grammy nominated for it.
10 years later. And I, you know, like you said, Mr. Managing Director, we do want to...
Operations Supervisor.
Sorry, Operations Supervisor. We are on time. But I think the biggest part, because I know, for me, when I was in Toronto and I was living through my lowest point, there was parts where, you know, I was in the thick of my activism, and we used to have, like, our conversations.
Because you was doing life and...
Yeah, but we both were at the same time. And a big part of the growth that I had at that time, because when I felt extremely depressed, to be very frank, when I was dealing with my own depression, I remember our conversations. I remember us talking and like laughing and having these moments where we were just actually just trying to find the light, like making fun of the fact where we are, but also just like trying to find the light. And I know, you know, I've experienced some pretty dark times with you, And I've seen you grind. Like, I've seen you. I didn't know it was like years upon years without getting paid. I probably would have like held you up for that. Like, what is? Come on, we need a little something.
Yeah.
But I sit in her. You know, even just sitting her in the studio, even just the fact that it's you and I who are sitting here in the studio.
Right?
Yeah, and that we're having a conversation, me with all the stuff that I have, and you being a Grammy nominated producer, and just knowing those moments where things were really hard for both of us. And I cannot express to you how it's not just about pride. I'm proud of you, of course you know that. I'm proud of you for sure. But I feel like in this moment, there is nothing that can be taken away from what you've been able to do and how you're going to go and expand. And I think it's important for folks that are listening right now to recognize that, you know, the choice to persevere is a hard one. Yeah. And I've seen you make it many a time. And I'm so excited to see you to continue to choose to persevere and to continue to choose to make sure that you're going in a way that feeds you and fills your soul. And I hope that you never ever lose that, right? But I just know that sitting across from you and knowing that, holy, you have done so much to get to this point. And I'm not going to wish you the best, but I am going to tell you, get to work. Get to work. Because now is the time to actually make sure that
it doesn't stop it. It actually kicks in even more now.
100%. Because again, Beyonce is going on tour, and I'm serious. You are my in to getting to see her. So if you don't hurry up and make this work,
very much,
my knees don't have much longer, right? I have about 4 more years before this is a wrap. So I need you to hurry up and get this Grammy so that I can go and be a backup dancer for Beyonce, and also be at your party, and also there. Not me. All my hopes and dreams depend on you, right? Is there anything that you want to leave the folks with? Is there anything that you feel like possibly to take away people who are listening?
Honestly, I felt like I spoke from the heart this whole interview. So
I think so too.
Yeah. So I will continue to do my best for one, but also continue to keep on living in gratitude, because I don't want to undermine what I have done. I want to appreciate even if I don't get the accolades at the time I want to, and things like that there. And I still want to just continue to be an upliftment to like everybody that I come across. And look, everybody who I come across could be an upliftment to me as well. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I just think just more circulation of, you know, good energy amongst us all. Everybody, you know, giving each other reassurance, speaking positive to each other. Like, this is what we need more of. Encouraging one another and things like that. So, you know, I'm gonna do my part with all of that. And yeah, I think that's how I want to conclude everything.
Oh, you're done?
Yeah.
You're not saying anything else?
No, I'm good now.
Interviews. Thank you so much for coming on today. Oh, quick question. What did you buy with your first producer check? The first check that you got for producing, what you bought?
You really want to know?
Yes.
I got myself the biggest pizza that I can, like, ever.
Here we go, the food again.
I stayed away from the fries.
The biggest pizza you can find. Okay, good to know. Thank you so much for coming on this morning, Rian 8Track Williams. I love you.
Love you, cuz.
And please continue to work and do what it is that you need to do. And for the rest of you, thank you so much for tuning into the Morning Spice this morning. Shout out to Taylor. Thank you so much. King, 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 king. People don't know who Taylor is. Taylor's someone that does a little video, a little something for me, you know, a little something on the side, you know, a little something like that 007 Taylor. But we want to say thank you for that, and thank you so much for sticking around. Remember, you have everything that you need within you. Manifest that so you can have the life you deserve. Until we meet again tomorrow, I'll see you on the other side of greatness. Be well.
Well done, cuz.
Woo! My fan was blowing up.
That was beautiful. I love that.